LANKAPUVATH News with me, Dushan Vaz. First, take a look at the headlines. President says that the country is out of danger of division. Palestine emphasizes on the autonomy and the sovereignty of Sri Lanka. Minister keheliya refutes false claims by the LTTE sympathizers. Now for those and other stories in detail. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the country is now out of danger of division. He underscored that the common enemy has no room to raise its head again. He further noted that the country has a good fate and the soldiers who are committed to liberate the country should be looked after as brothers and sisters. The President was addressing a ceremony at M.R.T yesterday organized to mark the International Nurses Day. It is commemorated in parallel to the birthday of Florence Nightingale, who was instrumental in pioneering the nursing service. Speaking further, the President said that terrorism can be defeated by all professionals who have a feeling towards the country. The government has entered the era of issuing circulars suspending recruitment of even a minor employee. The President added that his government strengthened the public sector day by day. The Government Nurses Union honored the President for his program against the terrorists and the service's discharge on behalf of the nursing service. President of the Union, Venerable M.R.T and Minister Symparhizers were also participated. Meanwhile, the Government Nurses Union handed over a collective of 2.5 million rupees on behalf of the soldiers. Meanwhile, Hands of Sri Lanka say the Palestinians in union angered and dismayed by the sinister manipulations and arm-bending tactics of some self-centered politicians of the Western countries against Sri Lanka, one of the friendliest nations of Palestine. Palestinians are fully aware of the struggle of Sri Lanka against the terrorist group called LTTE, who are trying to divide this small island on ethnic grounds. It is a well-known fact that this terrorist group is engaged in trafficking of arms, drugs and humans. It also has child soldiers in its army taken in forcibly. Many countries in the world had proscribed this group, but their money appears to have bought a number of politicians of the Western countries. While the Palestinian National Authority has taken action to brief the members of the Arab League through its ambassador to the League, Islamic, Orthodox, Christian and Catholic communities are conducting regular prayer meetings to bless Sri Lanka. Palestine is one country that is highly concerned about the welfare of Sri Lanka and are worried about the interventions of the West to save the terrorist leaders. Palestinians strongly feel that the West is going beyond their limits with no respect or regard for the sovereignty of Sri Lanka or their right to defend its territory. The West has still failed to realize that Sri Lanka is no more a colony of the UK or any other European country that is past history and no more valid. Palestinians are also surprised to note that when Israel bombed Gaza for 22 days, killing over 1,500, including more than 500 children and injuring thousands, these compensate politicians of the West failed to intervene in spite of the fact that it was very clear that the Palestinians are no match for the Israeli army. Meanwhile, even now, Gaza is a virtual prison for 1.5 million people without basic amenities like food, water, medicine, fuel, etc. Over 10,000 families are without shelter after their homes were demolished by the Israeli bombs. Building materials are not allowed into Gaza. Politicians of the West go all over the way to Sri Lanka to save a terrorist but fail to visit innocent suffering masses in Gaza. Palestinians also feel that the West has no moral right to accuse Sri Lanka fighting the world's most ruthless terrorist outfit while they bomb and kill hundreds of Iraqians. Meanwhile, Pakistanis and Afghanistan civilians on the pretext of fighting the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, etc. Meanwhile, Minister keheliya refutes false claims by the LTTE and LTTE sympathizers regarding killing of civilians by the government troops. Addressing the media at the Media Center for National Security in Colombo today, Minister deplored the false propaganda carried out by the international media referring to the pro-LTTE websites. Meanwhile, the minister said that LTTE's desire was to denigrate the government accusing the executive forces of attacking innocent Tamil civilians. Minister emphasized that international dignitaries who visited the IDP camps were very happy of the conditions and praised the Sri Lankan government. It was also revealed that the troops of the 5-8 division entered the no-fire zone from Karimulli Waikal. Meanwhile, London's Metropolitan Police arrested 45 LTTE terrorist protesters when they moved from Parliament Square and blocked roads leading into the Parliament on Monday. The arrest came after the London LTTE members blocked traffic in the area for several hours and the police tried to move them off the road. They defied the police announcement through loudspeakers that their move was illegal. The LTTE, a banned organization in the UK as a terrorist group, were carrying the official flag of the terrorist outfit and have been taking the law into their hands when they attacked the Indian High Commission, Chinese Embassy and Sri Lanka High Commission buildings during the past few weeks, using the Parliamentary Square as a meeting ground. They also beheaded the Nehru statue close to the Indian High Commission building. In the attack against Sri Lanka High Commission, several policemen were also injured. Meanwhile, the Metropolitan Police said that 45 Sri Lankan Tamils were arrested for willful obstruction, violent disorder and assault on the police. Out of the initial 500 protesters, about 400 remained on the Great George Street after the arrest. Even after the arrest, there were still pockets of people on the earlier blocked roads and traffic were being still diverted. Meanwhile, Pope Benedict XVI arrived in Israel on Monday and called for a two-state solution to its conflict with the Palestinians, a recession of Vatican policy that is at odds with the new Israeli government. The Pope pleaded with all those responsible to explore every possible avenue in the search for a just resolution of the outstanding difficulties so that both people may live in peace in a homeland of their own within secure and internationally recognized borders, he said in a speech at Tel Aviv's airport. Netanyahu, who was about to fly out to Egypt to meet President Hosni Mubarak, was in the welcoming party for the Pope, along with Israeli President Shimon Peres. Before the Pope spoke, Peres had said, "We have made peace with Egypt and Jordan, and we are negotiating to make peace with Palestinians. We may also arrive at comprehensive regional peace in the near future." That's it, LankaPuvath News. Do join us once again for more developments. Till then, have a wonderful time.